Welcome, low ego action heroes. This is Debbie Levitt from Delta CX. We're a full service CX and UX agency, and this is our once a month early office hours. It's 10 in the morning where I am in Italy, and I'll be here for up to an hour answering any questions that you are going to give me. Those questions can come in via the YouTube chat or the LinkedIn chat or anonymously through the link that will be up here the whole time, deltacx.link/ask. That link is good 24 hours a day. So if you would ever like to ask a question ahead of time and be among the first on the list to get your answer, you can just put your question there anytime you like. I'll be monitoring all these chats, and as always, if for some reason, if we don't get any questions for this early one, we'll cut it short. But I will also be here tonight, my time, 6:30 p.m. Italy time, 5:30 p.m. for the UK, 12:30 p.m. for Eastern Canada and United States, and 9:30 in the morning for California and other West Coasters. And that is our normal time for Office Hours Ask Me Anything. And today we'll have a special guest, Jeremy Kriegel, who some of you know, and hopefully some of you met during the mentoring at the Concentric Conference. So he will be our special guest for Office Hours. I am still opening up all of my windows, but I am not seeing any questions yet in the chat. Get some questions cooking, everybody. While I set up all of my windows here, let's check that my effects are running. Nope. Yes, there we go. Effects are running. Okay. So I don't have any questions to start out with. So, and I don't see anybody watching live in YouTube. Hopefully we are live. Let's check. Ask me anything. I'm just checking. This is the boring part, waiting for a question, but this is what office hours are like. I am just waiting for someone to ask a question. And let's see, here we've got LinkedIn. It says nobody's watching on LinkedIn. So this is the worst attended one I've ever, oh, 3 of you. Hi, 2, hi. No offense to the 2 of you, hi. Thanks for watching. I'm here just to take any questions people have, totally free. And all questions are welcome. If you'd like to ask them in the chat room, you're welcome. Or if you're embarrassed or you want to talk about something going on at work, you can use deltacx.link/ask. And that will come to me anonymously, and I won't be yelling out your name and telling everyone you hate your job. So there's always that. But it's office hours, which means I've got nothing to do until someone asks a question. So we could have the cheese minute, as someone suggested, but I don't have the cheese handy. Let's see. And again, early office hours is an experiment, specially requested by Australians to accommodate their time zone better, which I hope it does. I think it is 6 p.m. for Eastern Australia. I don't know. Let's check my phone. I keep Melbourne on my 6 p.m. in Melbourne. So hopefully Australians are having a good start to their week and people east of me. So this is Office Hours. Ask me anything. I'm just going to poke around until someone asks a question. I'm looking at weird things online until someone has a question. Oh, hi, Ekta. Good morning. I was going to say you're up early, and then I realized you're the same time zone as me, so good morning. Just checking that I'm not missing any questions. Nope. So this is Office Hours Ask Me Anything. It is free. If anyone has questions, feel free to ask. Oh, I guess my numbers on YouTube aren't updating, so I actually don't know how many of you are watching. I guess that's broken. Let's see. Three. Hello, three of you watching now. And I know none of you, and someone pressed like. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you, even though nothing has happened yet. And there's not that much to like, but certainly nothing to dislike by the same logic. So yeah, this is where I hang out. Now, again, once a month I do this early version, which is 10 in the morning my time. Hi, Abby. And I guess it's what, 10, 3.5, 1:30 p.m. in India. So there's that. Thank you. We've got our first question. Hooray! So I'm going to put that on the list of questions and get that started for today. Hold on. Oh, where did I put my list of questions? I am just not ready for today, am I? Early. Okay, early questions. Paste. If we wanted to research whether our product brings value to people. Two separate questions. Okay, so let's take a look at this. We can also put it up on the screen. Let's start with our first question from Ekta. How would you ask people if they're happy paying for your product? Well, I mean, let's be clear. Nobody's happy paying for your product. It sounds like, and then you had the follow-up question of, what if we want to research whether or not the product brings value to people? I think there's two different questions there, kind of, because I think you're asking what people think they should pay for the product. That, again, this sometimes falls into sales or marketing, but it's stuff that we can certainly research. So if this is valuable is sometimes a different question than what would you pay for it. To determine the value of something, we have to look at how meaningful, useful, helpful, efficient, whatever it is that we're making. So if we have some sort of tool for people, then we want to make sure it's bringing value to them by helping them get done whatever their task is. I tend to be task-based, but not everything is a task, of course. And we also have a question from the video ask system. Let me grab that one as well. So let's get through Ekta's questions and then we'll add this next one. Thank you for asking. Okay, and then make a note that I grabbed that one already. So I think that what would you pay for this is normally, hey, good morning, Irini. These are normally marketing questions, and they typically come up when we don't have a payment model yet, or we've started using a payment model and there's resistance to it. So it looks like you would want to do some research around the value of this. So, and it's hard because in marketing world, it's okay to send out a survey or something and say, hey, what would you pay for this? And then assume that that's true. The problem is people are bad predictors of their own future. People might say, oh yeah, if I could get this phone, I would pay 1,000 euros for it. And then turns out they don't, they want to pay 600 or something like that. So, it's hard to ask people, what would you pay for it? You have to take that with a grain of salt. So sometimes what people do is they kind of A/B test different price points. So for example, some people in your app see it's $4 a month, and some people in your app see it's $5 a month. And we check, are we getting just as many people signing up between $4 and $5? And what you're checking for is called price sensitivity. So how much are people sensitive to the price of something, or are they so excited about the quality or the offering of it that they are less price sensitive? So people who really want that new iPhone no matter what, Apple could probably put any number on that thing, and they do. So the people are less price sensitive. So if you're testing like a monthly fee for an app or something like that, or an annual fee for an app, you can always just try different pricing and run some controlled tests where people see different pricing and see if, run it for a few weeks, see if it made people more likely to sign up or not. Because again, it's hard to just say to people like, what do you think you should have paid for that? The answer is pretty much always zero. So but again, that's different from, does our product bring value to people? And that's more, sometimes you can use analytics around, are people using our services over and over, or coming back to the app for any reason? Are they doing this over and over? Are they utilizing this? And then you can take a look at how it does or doesn't have value. You could also do an observational study where you're watching people use your product, app, or system and try to figure out where it's matching their needs and tasks and where it's not. And that's another way to determine value. So Abby has a follow-up question, and then we'll go to Jag's question. Like decoy pricing, is there any other similar thing? What should UX designers need to know about these methods? I think in this case, this is just an opportunity for us to partner with marketing. If there is somebody in marketing at your company, we can't know everything about everything. I'm not going to tell any of you to start studying business pricing models, but you certainly could. You could learn about different business pricing models and how those are sometimes tested. Though keep in mind, these are usually marketing style of research, not UX style of research. Let me see. I see Irini's question, and there's also another question, an anonymous question. Let me grab this one. So let me grab anonymous question, and then we'll put Irini's question on the list, and now we're cooking. And we're doing this again later today with Jeremy Kriegel as our guest. So Irini, let me get your question on my list so I don't forget it. Ekta, I hope that gives you some ideas. I know that was a little bit vague or general, but I don't want to speak specifically to where you're working right now because I have some knowledge about it, and I want to try to stay more general. But to me, value for customers is going to be about, did we help them get their tasks accomplished in ways they wanted to do it, in ways they find easy to learn, easy to use, and intuitive, things like that. Matching people's needs. That's, to me, where the value is. Remember, delight is a side effect. We don't have to shoot for delight. We don't have to test for delight. I was a research participant yesterday, and they asked me how I felt about something that was frustrating. And I was like, well, this isn't an emotional issue. And what does it matter what I feel? It's frustrating. Just write that down, So don't worry about delight. Delight and positive emotions will come when you solve people's problems and make something valuable. So shoot for that. Next question came in anonymously. And again, for Abhi's question, again, you can study business model pricing if you want, but I would just partner with marketing on this and say, what have we researched about what other people are pricing, and how do we fit into the market at different prices? And good, I'm glad it helps. So to me, it's just a marketing partnership opportunity. Otherwise, you can always study business models if you want. I happen to have studied them a bit because I'm almost finished with an MBA. So there you go. Question, how would you kick off an information architecture process in a company that is new to HCD? Reminds me of an old song from, I guess, the 50s. I want to go carefully, carefully. So information architecture, to me, is part of HCD. So I would say if you are kicking off, if you are introducing HCD to the company and they're giving you the power and autonomy and whatever to bring this in, then information architecture is just part of the soup. At this point, it's nearly impossible to do lots of things without information architecture. At some companies, information architecture is more isolated, where you do need categorization, taxonomy, and things like that. But if this is just more general information architecture, then remember you're utilizing information architecture possibly in some aspects of your research and auditing. You're definitely utilizing it for site navigation. You're certainly utilizing it in interaction design. I can tell the difference between interaction design done by someone who understands information architecture and someone who doesn't. It's at this point, yes, they can be separated sometimes, but they're more and more connected. So I'm not sure you necessarily have to introduce a separate information architecture worker or process, unless it is specific to the things I said, like taxonomy of items or products in a database, or things relating to navigation. And there I just roll out, where's my rolloutable stuff? Here we go. Yeah, there I just roll out this guy, and I would just say, hey, information architecture is part of this complete breakfast, and it fits in usually somewhere around here, informed by research, often informed by content, and where we're going strategically with our content. And so information architecture is either here in this order of things, or again, it could be separate. So I would have to know a little bit more about maybe what's going on at your company or on the project. Where is information architecture going to be fairly like a separate discipline, or kind of baked into these other things as it tends to be? Let's see if I'm missing any anonymous questions. Not yet. Yeah. So I hope that starts to give you some ideas, but I would say I would introduce it as part of HCD or UCD. Let people know what it is and what it does. And make sure they know specialists do it. But I would need more information from you to be able to answer that a little bit better. So you can respond anonymously, or you can write in the chat room, up to you, because you wrote your name and I said it out loud. It's not a secret now. Let's see. Okay, so we've got another question came in anonymously, and this was truly anonymous, so I have no name to say. This one said, I am working with another designer on my team who goes straight into design each time we talk about a problem. Even when I show them the importance of research and thinking and analysis before you start designing, they still keep on churning ideas and design out without understanding the problem. What can I do? So there's probably a few things going on here, and I'm guessing because I'm not there and I don't know you or this other person, but I would guess that you've struck a point where this person is not confident. This person is probably pretty confident in their ability to churn out ideas, but they might not be confident in research or research-informed design. This might also be a reflection of either where they worked before, or if it's their first job, where they went to a boot camp. They probably have come from a background where that wasn't even on the radar. There wasn't going to be research, or the research didn't matter, or the research was considered slow and unimportant, and the reward and the achievement was based around just get some ideas going, let engineer build it, we'll figure out later if this sucks or not. So to me, this speaks to process. And when we look at UX department strategy, strategically, if you have a CX or UX manager, they are supposed to have set up the strategy for departments, for projects, for teams. I'm amazed at how many people say, no, my manager is a UX manager and hasn't done that. So I'm thinking, okay, what do they think managing is doing? Just assigning people to stuff and I don't know what. So I would go to the manager, and again, hopefully it's a UX manager and not a product designer, a product manager, or an engineer, or somebody from outside of our world, somebody who's worked in our world for years and leveled up to manager. I would tell this person that we need to create some standards and processes and policies and whatever for our projects, that if we have the ability to problem find before we problem solve, that is the path we take. And that when we have a question or a problem, we do the research, we do the analysis. We don't just jump into solutions. This might also be a person who loves design thinking and design sprints and other aspirologies, as I call them, where the focus is on solutions. Just find solutions, and there's almost no focus on, did you really understand the problem? And so it sounds like you're noticing that this person isn't understanding the problem. So I'd probably be working with a manager and say, look, churning out solutions fast is one thing. It makes engineering happy, but it makes pretty much nobody else happy. And the problem is that if these are the wrong solutions, then we've, as Larry Marine would say, we've solved the wrong problem very fast. And congratulations, you solved the wrong problem. Maybe you did it fast, but now you might have built the wrong thing for customers, which means nobody wins. Engineering will have spent a huge amount of time and money building and releasing the wrong thing. So I think that's where you need that manager who can look at this more strategically and come up with, how does our department address projects? How does our department address problems, questions? How do we decide when something needs to be researched and when we just can't do the research because there isn't time, money, headcount? When that happens, what do we do? When this happens, what do we do? So I think that needs to be put into place. That strategy needs to exist. And I don't feel like, oh, see you later, Abby. I don't feel like that's putting people in too much of a box. There's still room for flexibility there and further strategizing, but you've got to have some sort of policies that would say to this person, before you start designing, we have to make sure we understand the problem. How do we know we understand the problem? This is what has to be in place for us to be sure we understand the problem. How did we get there? We do this type of research. We do this type of analysis. Where we don't have time for research and analysis and we're going to just have to go for it, here's our approach to that. There's nothing wrong with defining your CX or UX process and requiring, if not strongly suggesting, that your workers stick to that. So, anonymous person, I hope that helped. Let me know if it does. And I will keep checking for more video ask comments. That's up in deltacx.link/ask. You can ask there anonymously 24 hours a day, and I will answer your questions. Next, anonymous one said, could you share some ideas about researching the desirability of an existing product? We've got a follow-up from our previous question. I'm going to pause the new question for this. A bit more background about the IA. I work for an insurance company and we're updating the main website to a new CMS platform. Any helpful resources out there when starting from scratch? Okay, so in that case, you probably have a content strategy project and an information architecture project that could certainly benefit possibly from card sorts and tree tests. Content strategy is not my strength. So I would have to say that I am not going to have the best suggestions here for helpful resources. I would probably be trying to learn more about content strategy and, of course, where that meets information architecture. So I'm afraid I'm not the right person for this, and I don't think tonight's guest is either. So let me make a note that we should probably get more people on the show to talk about content strategy. Let me write that down and let me put that on the to-do list. I know that doesn't help you right now, but I would say dig up some of the stuff on content strategy, dig up some of the authors who've written the books, see if you can talk to them or something like that. Good morning, Charlene. So updating the main website to a new CMS. Yeah, typically that means templatizing things. If it's not modular, it could be modular. What content do people need to see where and in what order, and how do we present it, and how much of it should there be, and should it be text, video, audio, something else, interactive? So yeah, that's content strategy, and I have to admit that's not my strength. Sorry. I'd rather tell you the truth. Good morning. Finally, our next question. Could you share some ideas around researching the desirability of an existing product? Would a survey bring valuable results? Alexa says, "Hi, Debbie. Good to see you live. Finally, I watch your non-stream videos." Hello, Alexa. I go live once a month at this time. Otherwise, we're live at 6:30 p.m. Italy time. All my videos are 6:30 p.m. Italy time. Yeah, I don't have a content strategy video yet. I'm going to have to dig up somebody who's really good at that and drag them in. Charlene says, I did some work similar, but not exactly. It was for a publishing house. Maybe Charlene and Jag can get together in Slack and help each other out a bit. If you're not in our Slack, it is free to join. deltacx.link join Slack. We have over 750 people, and according to Slack, about 160 are active. So it is an active little group. Some are lurkers, some are posting and commenting, but all questions are welcome there. Just check out all the channels and put questions in the right channels. So there you go. Let's see. So researching the desirability of an existing product, would a survey bring valuable results? Probably not. I think it was episode 51 or 52 we did here. That was why surveys are usually garbage. And the problem is that, how would you ask that? On a scale of 1 to 10, how desirable is our product? It's like, oh, that's really flawed. So the question is, when I think about desirability, I think about, are we satisfying customers? When I think about are we satisfying customers, I think about, did we build something that meets or exceeds their needs? Did we build something that takes into account whatever tasks they're trying to accomplish on our site, in our system, in our app, whatever it is? And so first, we should be doing observational research to make sure we know what the most common tasks are. They're coming here to buy something. They're coming here to research something. They're coming here to pay for something. They're coming here to learn something, whatever it is. But don't assume. The problem is too many companies assume, or they assume that what they want to build for people will be what they want. Oh yeah, people will definitely want to come here and read all about lowering your carbon footprint. Maybe not. So it's good to do some research where we look at how people do these things now, either with our company or with a competitor or making up their own way. And then we can say, aha, we know what people's tasks are. We understand their workflows a little bit, whether or not those workflows include our company's products or services. Now, if we want to know if we've built what matches them, then we have to take a close look at what we've built. Now, certainly some CX and UX experts could take a look at this stuff and say, as an expert, do I think that this matches what we know that customers are trying to do or need or expect from us? I can do that audit, but when you're trying to learn that from your customers, normally I would just do an observational research and give them their most common tasks. Hi, here's our system, or a prototype of it, or a variation of it. Hi, here's our system. Please pay your bill. Your bill is $67.23. How would you pay it? Let them find where that happens. Let them try the process out. Let them see how it goes. Things like that. You will learn very fast if your product or service is a match to people, because you will see our good friends, the 4 horsemen of bad CX and UX: frustration, confusion, disappointment, and distraction. If you are finding that people have trouble completing their tasks, or they kind of went over here, but that was the wrong place, and they had to go back over here and then look again over here, to me, even an indirect success where they kind of went around a bit but eventually got to the right place, that's a failure. That's something that needs improvement, because even if they eventually found it and got there, 4 horsemen can still show up. So I would say observational studies and watching people are the best way to go, because the problem with surveys is that, first of all, we might ask people to give a rating. That's extremely general. I might love one part of your system and hate another part of your system. What rating do I give you? The average of how I feel about your system? Now we don't know what's working and what's not working. Like if you've ever booked time with me, I use a scheduling system. It's not mine, I didn't build it. And it's definitely got pros and cons. There's things that it does amazingly well that blow Calendly out of the water. And then there's things that it does embarrassingly bad, where some of you have sent me messages going, did you know your calendar system does this? And it's like, yeah, but it's still better than Calendly. So what rating do I give them? When that NPS pops up on the screen, what rating do I give them? 7? Because I'm mostly happy. I'm still a customer, but I'm so frustrated at these things that aren't working well, in my opinion, that aren't good UX. So surveys usually don't give us enough actionable data. They might take people's temperatures too generally, and I think it's going to be hard to get the details we want on what's going right here and what's going wrong here. So I would say learning more about the existing product can start with understanding people's tasks and their workflows and what they're trying to do in your world. Like Jag was saying, she's working on a insurance website. So someone might be coming to research types of insurance, to research insurance rates, to purchase the insurance, or to find an agent who can sell one. These might be common tasks, but we're only going to know that if we start researching people and seeing what they're really doing, and replace stakeholders and leaders' guesses and assumptions about people with this good research. So that was a super long answer, but I hope that helped. Let's see. And Alexa says, I'm currently 1 month in my first UX job. Do you have a book recommendation? So far, I read Don't Make Me Think, The Mom Test, and Good UX 101. Okay, I don't know 2 of those, so let's take a look. What the hell is the Mom Test? Let's see. The Mom Test. How to talk to customers and learn if your business is a good idea when everyone else is lying to you. Okay, it seems to have good ratings, but then again, so does the Lean Startup, the Lean UX, and they were left by non-UX people, which is sad. Talking to customers is a foundational skill of Lean Startup. So I don't know if this is a good book or not, because it really, to me, if they're not teaching you to ask the right questions, then it's poop. But I honestly don't know. I know that Lean Startup definitely falls short, because Lean Startup says, hey, get out of the building, go talk to people, but they don't really tell you what are good questions and what are bad questions. So hopefully this book is filling in some of the blanks. And then the other one was Good UX 101. Let's see, I'm on Amazon. That doesn't exist. It actually doesn't exist. Are you sure that's the name of it? Good UX 101. I'm on Amazon and it doesn't exist. So I don't know what you're reading, and I don't know if it's good or not. So good luck. As for recommending books, and Josh, I see your question too. As for recommending books, Darren is the keeper of the book lists. So if you can Google Darren Hood UX books and go to the Medium version of the article, not the LinkedIn one, Darren is the keeper of the books. You would also want to read The Design of Everyday Things if you haven't read that one yet. And I don't read a lot of books, so I am usually the wrong person to recommend books. So I leave it to Darren. And I'm trying to get Charlene's question on the board here. And Magdalena, I'll get your question on the board after Josh, who sent in a question through the video ask. So please hold. Let me grab Josh's question. Oh, Josh just wanted the Slack link. Yeah, sure. Hi, Josh. Welcome. Welcome joining us from Malaysia. So yeah, the Slack link is deltacx.link/join Slack, and it's completely free. There's no monthly or annual membership. There's no secret club to join. I try to make as many free things available to the public as possible, and that is one of them. Oh, Alexa says Good UX 101 is a Serbian book. I don't think it has an English version. Okay, then I definitely don't know it. Hopefully it's helpful, but that's where critical thinking comes in. The best way to tell if a book or the information in it is good or not is put on your critical thinking hat, which I keep handy, and ask yourself, if this happened, or if I did this, what would be the outcome? So for example, let's take the garbage you sometimes hear, everybody's a designer. Let's think about the outcomes of that. What's the outcomes of that? Well, the outcomes could be everybody thinks they're a designer. Okay, well, who's everybody? Engineers, product managers, marketers, the CEO? Okay, well, then what happens if everyone thinks they're a designer? I guess my job isn't as important. I guess my job isn't specialized. I guess what I do isn't really understood. Any of these people are going to try to do my job, and they may or may not do it well, and they may or may not know because they're pretty sure they're a designer. This is what critical thinking looks like. Play out all these possibilities. Ask yourself, what could happen if I actually tried these things? And that to me is where the Lean UX book really falls apart. If you start reading the Lean UX book and you put that critical thinking hat on and you start asking yourself these questions, you're going to end up at some pretty scary spots where you're going to go, wow, this book is pretty terrible. You know, where, for example, they say, if you have research specialists on your team, don't let them do research. Have everybody on the team, including engineers and product and other people, do research all together, plan the research, do the research, interpret the research. Well, what would that be like? What would that be like if at our company we didn't let specialist researchers do the research and we gave it to people who didn't know a lot about research or have a good scientific approach to research? What would happen there? I don't even think I have to finish that sentence. I think you can play that one out yourself and see where that goes. So critical thinking when it comes to books, YouTubers, me, Medium articles, put that hat on and ask yourself, is this good for UX? Or is this something that could hurt my job, my industry, my team, my project, my customers? Because unfortunately, not every advice or information or model out there is a good one. So keep learning, Alexa. Good luck and congrats on your first job. Charlene has a question. And it looks like this. Let's say you're, oops. Wrong buttons, everybody. Good morning. Let's try that again. Pow. Let's say you're joining a project where they're in discovery phase, but they already did some research and have data for that in terms of persons or customer needs. Maybe you meant personas. How do you generally handle carrying on with the discovery? So for me, it would be a bit of an analysis of what do we know and what do we not know. So if they've already done some research and they already maybe have some personas, I'm looking at these to see if this research was recent enough, if this research was carried out well, if the personas still seem relevant and recent, or if they seem to marketing. You know, we've talked about non-actionable personas. They're nice. They like Starbucks. So I would usually take a critical thinking approach to the research I already have to see if, is it great but outdated? Is it not that great? For example, I once saw an e-commerce company's research on one of their pages where they were showing the product. And they had decided to experiment with a version where they made reviews very prominent and the description of the product a little less prominent. And they found that when they made the reviews more prominent, their sales went up. And so they thought, wow, you know, just make reviews more and more prominent and deprioritize the description of the product. The problem was that by the time I was looking at this, the description of the product was really hard to find, and that was turning people off. The problem was they thought that that was great for sales. And so when someone actually did research on this, it looked like the research was tail wagging the dog. The research said, people are having trouble finding the description of the item, but we think that's a good thing because they like reviews so much. And I was like, well, hold on. You took something that was a clearly observable fact. people are having trouble finding the description. And instead of researching, okay, then what does that mean? What does that mean when people can't find the description or don't fully understand what this item does? Does that lead to more returns? Does that lead to more questions? Does that lead to more four horsemen? Instead of doing that, they went with their foregone conclusion that it's good if people can't find the description because people really like these reviews. And I just thought, that's junk science. So, looking back, make sure you're looking at the research that exists. You don't have to poop on it, but you might say, you know, I find some things are missing here. There are some things we should know. Or, and again, if you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because they still work there, you could say, I think we just need to update this. We just need to get some updated research cooking. There's nothing wrong with updated research, just to make sure this is still the way our customers are behaving or going through their workflow or approaching this task. And then you can clean it up and do some better research that does not work from foregone conclusions or things like that. So Charlene, I would definitely want to be lean and cut unnecessary work. So if we don't need to redo any or all of that research, let's not redo it. Let's work from it. A project we're working on right now at Delta CX, we did a huge amount of research and the client has us working on one specific part of their site right now, but we did enough research to fix like 6 parts of their site. So that means if they do hire us to do more of this stuff, we've got the research ready to go and to guide us in doing that. So that's probably how I would carry on with the discovery, is by critically looking at whether or not the previous research or any of the discovery is relevant or usable for this project, because sometimes it's 100% usable and sometimes I feel like it is 0% usable and I have to find a gentle way to say, we need to do something fresh here. Charlene, does that answer the question? Do you have a follow-up question for that? This is Office Hours Ask Me Anything. It's our special once a month early version where it's 10 in the morning my time. I do this once a month on, is this the second or third Tuesday? I don't remember now. Third Tuesday, I think? Somebody give me a month calendar here. It's the third Tuesday. The third Tuesday of every month is Office Hours Ask Me Anything, early and late version. So I'll be back at 6:30 p.m. Italy time today with special guest Jeremy Kriegel. So you don't want to miss that. He's neat. Okay, so let's take a look at Madalena's question, which I can put up on the screen. And we still have about 15 minutes here, so I can probably fit in a few more questions. How to persuade marketing to give research a try? Oh, that's so hard. Honestly, very often I see marketing being very, very reluctant to speaking to people. They turn to analytics without asking the why behind the data. Yeah, I've done entire conference sessions on this at marketing conferences. In fact, I'm going to suggest for my answer my own video. Go to the YouTube channel, go to the playlist that says conference sessions. One of them says conference something and conference sessions. I don't remember what it's called now, but I only have like 12 playlists. One of them is going to say something and conference sessions. Inside, you're going to see transforming businesses, blah, 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 1 hour marketing version. I don't know if that's this year's or last year's version. Let me check. Video details, marketing. Transforming businesses by focusing on customer, May 2020. So, okay, it is my 1-year-old version, but I honestly didn't change it that much when I did the same talk again this year. So I would say check that out. That's what I say to marketing. That might help you. Hi, Rata. Hello from Bangkok, Thailand. Hello. So Madalena, short answer would be, please go see my other video to see how I address marketing, to talk about how we can partner better together. I introduce a few of my models that I think would work really well with marketing, like behavior triggers. And really, I just try to tell marketing that we are their business intelligence, that their analytics and their surveys can be great, but we're missing so much of the what and why and how. And I talk about how much that often leads to guessing and assuming and bad storytelling about people, and that we really shouldn't be doing any guessing or any assuming or any storytelling. We should just know, and that we are perfect partners for that knowing. So I think that it can be hard to convince marketing of this, but I think we have to focus on us being business intelligence for them, that we're going to save them time and money and sanity and effort, that when we build a better product, they don't have to market it so much. We actually had that with one of our clients recently. We redid his website. We actually couldn't fix his product. He didn't have the budget for that, but we did redo his website. And he wrote back and he was like, oh my God, I have to spend so much less on marketing. The website just makes sense to people. These are great examples of where we can partner with marketing and help them achieve some of their measurable goals and start to show them the power of what we can do when we understand why. I'll give you another example that I don't think is in that presentation because it's a project we've been working on for the last few months. And so it's not in those slides from last year. The project we're working on now that I keep talking about, where we did the huge amount of research and we're working on one section of this website, it is e-commerce. And the section we're working on first is the landing page from their Google ads. So this client is spending a squillion squids a month on paying for Google to dump people on their site. And their conversion rates were really, really, really low. We got all the analytics on it. I've never seen a company with so much analytics. I am loving it. And so we have unbelievable numbers on every step of the funnel and how we're losing people and then the overall conversion rate. So they wanted new landing pages, and we could have said, oh yeah, landing pages. Those have a pretty typical approach and format and whatever. Here we go, template, landing page, boom. But because we did a mountain of research first, we were able to understand what's the customer's decision-making process for the types of items we sell before they get on their website. How are they even discussing this amongst themselves in their offices or committees before they even shop for this? Fantastic business intelligence. Marketing wishes they knew that. Then we had them go to Google and search for things like this. We watched what they trusted and what they didn't trust, which search results they chose and which ones they avoided. Many of them went to competitor sites and many of them went to our client sites. So we got to see them behave on both. And it's all video recorded, and we analyzed the hell out of it. And we now have we did task analysis and optimized task flow. And we have a huge amount of information on how people make decisions. And we saw task analysis, we saw their tools, knowledge, and workarounds. We saw a huge knowledge gap. We saw a huge workaround. Almost every single person in the observational study pulled out a calculator at one point, a physical calculator, their phone calculator. That marketing doesn't know that. Marketing doesn't know people are all getting stuck at the same place on the website because they needed a calculator. So we learned so much amazing stuff that now the landing pages we've built, at least we believe, we're testing them now, we're usability testing them now. We believe they're really strong. And we believe not only are they really strong and much more likely to make the company money, sell people things they wanted anyway, but we actually put two inventions into one of them. So one landing page we made traditional, and the other landing page we made highly experimental with two things that we didn't see on any other competitor's website. And I think we saw 20 competitors' website. That means we're going to disrupt the industry. They'll probably all rip off our client afterwards, but we will have been the people who invented that, with thanks to the people on my team. Ralitza for working on the research, Larry Marine for working on the research and some of these conceptual ideas, Elijah for working further on the conceptual idea. We expect to blow this thing open wide, and the marketing team, of course, is going to be thrilled because they're going to achieve more sales and more conversion. So I think the main way that we have to persuade marketing is to be like, just try a little project with us. Let's pick something. Let's landing pages. Let's pick an improved product page. Like, you just got to pick something, maybe something that doesn't seem too big, something that maybe doesn't require 3 months of research. And I think you just have to say, let's experiment this. You're looking to improve conversions by 1%, and you're going to let me, first I'm going to figure out where our problems are. Or we could even look at the Google Analytics and see where people dropped off. But for this client, they dropped off at every step, every freaking step. So I'll explain that emoji in a moment, because Charlene put this up. No, not this. Yes, oh good, that made sense. Charlene put up, are you hiring? No. Not yet. I hope so soon, but I'm not yet. That is something that should hopefully blow marketing's minds at this company. And luckily, I get to deal with them directly. I'm dealing with someone who kind of runs UX and marketing at this company. It's not a very big company. They have huge sales, but as for like the people I'm dealing with, it's not like a zillion layers of workers. And my other main contact is the VP of technology, and he hugely believes in UX. He's the one who came to me and said, please help fix our website. So it's great to have those allies. They're both kind people, fun people. I could cry just thinking about them because they're so lovely. I'm so lucky that I have wonderful clients who are nice to talk to and let us try experimental things. And I think they're going to work. It's going to be super feather in cap. I think it's going to be really exciting to see these new features rolling out. And then every competitor is going to go, why didn't we do that? Because now it makes so much sense. It's so obvious. It's like Larry Marine's story of like, why are you telling people to buy flowers that go for a certain occasion when they don't know what flowers go with the occasion? I'm living the same thing in this project. Charlene says, Debbie, are you hiring? I know. I wish. I wish. Hopefully soon. Delta CX needs more projects. This is our main project right now. Without more projects, I can't bring on peeps. So there you go. And also, people are usually contractors for me. And for a lot of people, that's too unstable. Some people prefer the stability of, the regular job and not the instability of the contract or freelancer type of thing. So there's that too. Hey, we've only got about 5 minutes left. So while I wait to see if there are any more questions, let me take a look at our upcoming schedule, since I am starting to book a few more things into the calendar. So let's talk about what's coming up. Of course, in a few hours, we have office hours again with Jeremy Kriegel, a special guest. Nothing else cooking this week because I'm supposed to sit in a booth at a virtual conference to wait to see if someone wants to talk to me. I'm so mad about this. Longer story. Oh my God, bad CX. Friday, reaction stream is on this week. I will have had my dental appointment, so hopefully I will be happy and excited. Monday, oh wow, we have a new guest on Monday. I'm so excited to introduce to all of you Daniel Engelberg. And I forgot which one of you introduced me to him, but it turns out he's old buddies with Larry Marine. So it's just the, Larry Marine Love Festival over here. I should really put this one up. Daniel is going to talk about how to overcome limited access to users. And man, oh man, most of us need that. Tuesday the 22nd, of course, is office hours, Ask Me Anything. Then looks like nothing else is scheduled next week other than the reaction stream. Monday the 28th, I'm going to do some of my new slides on aspirologies, and I'm going to talk more in depth about my ideation workshop. I know everyone thinks ideation, step 3 of design thinking, but it's not really. So I think that it's going to help people have a new workshop that they can run when they are trying to get away from design sprints or design thinking, or when they just see a need for what my ideation workshop does. So I'll be doing that Monday the 28th, and it is called Breaking the Addiction to Workshops, even though I'm going to show you how to do a workshop. But it's a much shorter one, and it's much more actionable. So hopefully we'll break people's addictions to design thinking and design sprints and use this other one where necessary. Tuesday the 29th, office hours, ask me anything. Monday, July 5th is when most people are going to take the day off for 4th of July in America, so I didn't schedule anything there. Tuesday, July 6th, office hours, ask me anything. Wednesday the 7th, I'm going to show my new slides on making UX agile and lean. This is the kind of stuff I'm starting to do privately at companies, as I mentioned in the Slack channel. So that would be hopefully some informative stuff that people can use. And we've got Michelle Ronson coming back on July 12th. We're calling it Convincing People on Research. So if you're having trouble selling research into the organization, hopefully Michelle will have some actionable ideas there. And of course, Tuesday, July 13th will be Office Hours Ask Us Anything with Darren and Dr. Nick. Madalena says, gotta go, speak to you soon. True. Refreshing to see marketing and CX work together, Madalena says. Yeah, we absolutely should. I really think, and I think I even have this in my book, that marketing is probably our first best ally because they have so many tangible things that need to be fixed or improved that can be measured. And if they just partner with us to fix or improve those, and then they improve, the spotlight should be on us for having improved them. The spotlight is less likely to be on, hey, thanks to engineering for building working software. Yes, we still thank them for building working software, but the focus should really be on us for having done whatever research and architecture and design and testing and improvement that helped marketing achieve or exceed their goals. So I think they're a great place to start out in your company, to start to, we always say prove the value of UX and stuff, but we really just have to keep saying customer centricity to these people. I also follow Forrester and Gartner, who are huge consulting companies, and they are out there over and over and over and over telling people, CX, the customer experience is everything. Now, they're saying this to marketing. They don't think they're saying it to us. They don't think they're saying it to engineering. They don't think they're saying it to product. They are out there, both of them, pushing CX and the value of CX to marketing, because marketing is supposed to be shepherding that kind of customer satisfaction and measuring it. I think they should be pushing it to product, and they don't have to push it to us. We already bought it. But I think that's where we're going to find some of our best allies, at least for starters, is marketing. I know that for the project we're doing right now, once we can get some real numbers on what our landing pages did, hopefully it will set the company on fire and they will go, oh my God, okay, I guess this pays off. We made how much money? So it'll be interesting. Irini says, can you share a calendar where we can see your future events? Yes, let me press this button. If you go to deltacx.link/events, you will see a Google Calendar of all of our events. You can also do Ask, of course, which is asking your questions anonymously, which I'll answer them tonight or every Tuesday. Coaching is to book coaching time with me. You can start with a free one and do paid ones if you'd like. I do portfolio reviews. Hey, we've got a giveaway again. We just pulled the winner for our May giveaway. Now I'm doing a June-July giveaway, which we'll pull in early August. And the winner of the June-July giveaway will get a box of delicious Italian treats, probably pasta and cookies. This means you must live in a country that will allow shipments to be sent from Italy. I can't send my friend in South Africa anything. So please check with your postal system and see if Italy can send a box to where you live, and then go to deltacx.link/giveaway and enter your email for our summer giveaway of Italian treats. Charlene says no cheese. One, I am not sure if I'm allowed to export cheese. We would have to check that. And number two, it is summer. It is 32 over here. I am not sure. I want cheese in a box for a week, slowly crawling to Charlene's house. So I would say probably no cheese, probably things that are more stable for shipping and won't incur any customs or border problems like I know meats do. So I can't send people meats or porks or salamis or things like that. So I think dairy products might be legal to send, but I'm very worried about how they would end up in summer heat by the time you got them. So yep, deltacx.link/all kinds of stuff, because that's my URL shortener. And don't forget HR training. Tell people who make crappy jobs to take my free training. So I've got another call in 15 minutes, so I'm going to have to run. But thanks to everybody who joined in today. Sorry it started a little bit slow, but it ended with a bang. And I will see everybody in 7.5 hours, if you are awake, for the evening version, where we will have Jeremy Kriegel as guest. Irini says, thank you for the helpful session. Thank you. I hope you will join for our 6:30 p.m. ones, where they fit in with your schedule. If you're in Serbia, I think you're an hour ahead of me, so it might be 7:30 p.m. there. But check me on that, because I'm bad at time zones and names. So I'm going to play us out of here, but I'll see everybody much, much later. And if you've got questions, send them in deltacx.link/ask. Mark it for the 6:30 p.m. version, and Jeremy will be answering. Thanks, and catch y'all later.
Delta CX, available for CX and UX consulting, projects, and training. Contact us for a free consultation